Hey y'all, welcome to the next Odyssey video. This is going to be spanning the month of August, and it will be one of the last in Odyssey's training series. Here we are at his second show, and this was also his second time in the dressage ring. A little bit wiggly down the center line, and then he spooked at the letter M, which was the first time he'd really taken notice of the letters. For the rest of the test, he was a little bit afraid of the boards, and I had to be pretty careful not to ride him too close because he was thinking about offering to jump out. It's a pretty typical green horse reaction. Here he thought about it again, and I was just making sure to steer him accurately so that we weren't going to be exiting the dressage ring and eliminating ourselves. So the first half of the test was pretty tense, and then he started to relax a little bit after the walking segment, and we had a little bit smoother of a second half to our test. Still green, still lots to work on, but not too bad for his second show. Another little spook at the letters there. I definitely had my homework cut out for me this time, which was going to be working on his fear of the whiteboards. But he finished up much more relaxed than when he started, and it was a positive experience for him overall.
There you go, buddy. Now he's settling.
So before we got to our show jumping phase, a thunderstorm blew in, and there was some pretty severe lightning. We had to take shelter in the trailer with the horses, and they ended up canceling the show and everybody went home. But we asked the show management, and they said that we could school in the show jump ring and school over the cross-country course.
The giraffes are scary. Oh, good boy.
I went in there to do a mock show jump round. Now we had the second rail because he was spooking, and he stopped at the third, so I decided to start over again.
Come back and just jump both again.
These fences were actually still set at the beginner novice height, and although we were doing starter, we decided not to change them because beginner novice is well within Odyssey's capabilities, and I think it was good for his confidence.
Yeah.
Completely screwed that up. That was totally my bad, and Odyssey was a very good boy for jumping that.
Go.
So it was really great that we still got to school in the ring despite the show being canceled. We still got the experience that he needed.
There you go.
And then here's a few more clips. A little bit smoother this time. He didn't mind jumping in the wet ring either.
Nice.
Now the footing, because it's good quality footing, it's not slippery with the water on it.
Super.
And so it wasn't unsafe to ride in. So I didn't get any footage of us going through our cross country because we were following Zephyr and there wasn't a chaser cart.
Awesome.
And we just needed to get it done for the
boy.
experience. Then it was time for Odyssey's third show, and this was actually a rated show because that was one of the shows that was available to us at the time. And so I knew going in, because this was his third time seeing the dressage ring, that I was going to stay well off the boards because I didn't want him to focus and worry about them. So that was an intentional choice. I wasn't riding to get a good score. I was riding to give my horse a good experience.
This is the 9-year-old.
So we stayed quite far off the boards. I possibly could have gotten a little closer in some places, but once again, I just wanted to give him a really good experience.
What? I said he's moving good.
So I just wanted to help him focus on what we were doing. The camera did something weird here, and so the video restarted.
Stop.
It was a pretty nice, relaxed test for him, even though we didn't score super well because I had to keep him so far off the rail so that he wouldn't be spooking at it. Once again, there were some places, especially in the walk, where we could have gotten a little closer, but I was just being careful. The only reason I signed him up was to get him some experience, and that was the goal for the day. He started to break gate there. He was getting a little bit quick with his tempo. And then he broke gate here because I wasn't careful enough to remind him to stay in the canter. And instead of picking it back up again, I opted to just stay in the trot. Again, it was not a very technically correct test, but it was the ride that I think Odyssey needed that day. A little later, it was on to our show jump. He was being a little extra looky in the warm-up. I think the shadows were throwing him off. And he stopped at this first jump, which I wasn't super surprised about because of the filler.
Woo! Good girl!
Came to the second jump, and he jumped that pretty good. Now, the third jump, I thought he was building confidence, but he stopped and dropped his shoulder quite hard, and unfortunately, I hit the dirt. And that spelled the end of that for us. We were eliminated. And here we have Elisa riding him at a little schooling jumper show. Elisa opted to show him because she is able to give him a much more confident ride, obviously. She had been riding him and helping me out with him because she's able to teach him a lot faster than I can. Odyssey greatly benefited from all the schooling rides, and he gained so much confidence at this show.
Yeah, Odyssey!
Huge shout out to Elisa for showing Odyssey for me. It was a really great experience for him. And then I showed him in the 50 centimeter class, which was very cute. He did super well. He was extremely brave in this ring. I was really proud of him.
Now easy, use your voice.
Our tempo was a little bit quick. We were feeling just a little bit frantic, but I was just so excited that he was jumping everything the first try and not getting nervous about it.
Nice.
All in all, this was a great show to come back and build our confidence. We even got a couple of ribbons. Odyssey said, "Please do not put those on my bridle." This was the end of Odyssey's August. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be covering the first half of September, right up until the Mustang Classic. Thank y'all so much for watching, and make sure to leave a comment if you enjoyed.